Chapter 2. What is love? Before long, a few of his friends from the community decided to take and parents and made it seem as if they only wanted him to get them to. One person was Livia, who was married to one of his friends, Kimia, and a female friend named Nan. Livia was a much older woman with a seductive spirit who tried to convince Designia that Nan will be his perfect wife for him. All three of his friends persuaded Designia to go on this adventure with him. Designia knew Livia had manipulated his friend into marrying her. He saw her manipulative spirit as she was carried on numerous occasions, still dealing with her exes while still dating his friend, but he kept it to himself. Livia continuously tried to convince him to date Nan and want her to seduce him, but it failed. One, she was a very masculine lady, and two, he didn't even find her remotely attractive. He thought of her as only friend, and that was it. Annie made it that Designia was about 20 at the time and he grew up around other cultures as a child because his mother traveled a lot from state to state, again, because she worked for the armed forces. Therefore, he wasn't no feeble-minded young man. He wasn't no angel, but not it who was surrounded by people pleaser, and that was just not his thing. He simply let people live their lives, and he wasn't judgmental because of his upbringing. He wasn't an easy person to manipulate either. To Designia, sure reports seemed to have worsened as time passed, and his hatred for the city deepened. Livia saw this and she eventually convinced Designia that she truly loved his friend and was now on the path of righteousness, waiting for Sabbath. Mammalean passed, and late time it wasn't available back then. It only been during Winiki's time. Back then, people went to church every Saturday or Sunday. Many old people crept in and destroyed many who believed in Sabbath. They started calling themselves preachers, ministers, and the likes, so he believed that they were his friends. Atlanta, Georgia, was one of the many places he had been while in the military. So, he suggested they take them there. The agreement was that they would travel to and work tighter until they could move on their own, but once they get there, it was something else. That night Sabbath showed him a dream that he would leave him there stranded. He confronted him the next day about the dream. Livia smiled with her eyes aglow. She sighed, and he quote, "Baby, you will never do that to you. We love you." So that evening, after a long day of searching for work, he returned to where they stayed, and they had indeed left him there, stranded. They never thought Designia was qualified to be with them because he had his own way of thinking in service about the way he knew him, not the way they did, for he was religious, and he was spiritual. So, they left him. Mammalean turned to Cush, son, as he now Sabbath looks at the heart, and man looks at the so-called outward sense, but they never look at the inward sense they corrupt the heart, because for one thing, we can't. Cush looked at Mammalean. "What do you mean?" Designia smoked and drank, but his heart was poor. Livia's do the things of that nature plus she was a reformed prostitute at that, but after her salvation, she only changed her outward appearance but as a turgid system imploder. She is a seduction and was narcissistic toward everyone, even her children. Growing every in city to be the same way, Designia admired Livia because she spoke with power when it came to Sabbath, but he was young, naive, and trusting. Later he realized she was just imitating or mimicking Prophet. However, amid his trials and tribulations, Sabbath showed him favor in many ways, even to his amazement. Determined to achieve his goals, no matter what, and Sabbath made it, where he could do just that, but he did endure great trials and tribulations in the process. He met many celebrities that he admired growing up and they gave him advice. They saw his determination, some took advantage of him and his gift, and some noted that he was harmless, famous, but he didn't carry in mid with what he had. Eventually, he sold drugs, another popular thing in those times. It wasn't his type of thing, but he had to eat and needed a place to sleep, which cost money. There were many drugs introduced at this time. He had this on drug called ecstasy, used it in then closer during sex, and a few others like methamphetamine or supplements. Most were poor producer drugs, but the drug popular with our people during this time was crack cocaine. Crack was a drug introduced to our people to get rid of use, and it was shipped into the country by your country, and then delivered to our communities, like Yoko was hand delivered to the Native Americans. It became a pandemic to our people, until Sabbath presented up your stockers. Our pandemic people selling their lives possessions for a little white rock that cost $50,000. It had sounds prostituting their mothers and daughters calling. Tear feathers, just for it was can't high, and believe you, say and more. Crack had been around for at least 10 years and he never thought about it. He heard horror stories about its effect on people, but he never thought he would ever be involved with it when he was right in the middle of it all. Doesn't he was it to stop selling drugs, after experiencing it for himself, he saw what it was doing to his people. He saw so many going to jail and prison for extended periods. When his firstborn son, Justin, was just a few months away from being born, he didn't know what to do. An ounce of cocaine was like 5 days stay in jail for white people, but an ounce of crack for our people, you had a minimum of 5 years. However, you can't make crack without cocaine. He was making good money, but the rewards were horrible. What do you do with a pocket full of money and can't buy anything? So, he invested it all into music. Sabbath appeared in his dreams, and they stopped because his conscience kept tormenting him, but it didn't take long before he started again because of inner pains. He felt himself lose hope, depression setting in, and he started dabbling with harder drums to cool his pain and frustrations. To be a drug dealer, you must be heartless, and most drug dealers soon became human, warrior, weapons, and even sex traffickers. You see, money drove him into more, Timorier. Dicing his heart and consent continued to bother him, and the embarrassment of admitting himself to Orlan for drug addict and not weighing his conviction of selling it, harming others for monetary gain, not tormenting to wait of Sabbath. He had nowhere to go because his friends all sold dope. He eventually started smoking with what they called back in those days crack house, after 2 days. He thought he was a true crackhead. On a day, he took some crack from a friend to sell, but instead, he smoked it himself. That night, living in an abandoned apartment, he found himself using the bathroom and the carpet because the toilet smell was too much of beer. As he got up, he didn't. He then whipped himself. Amor stood in front of him, and he looked at himself in disgust. He heard a voice. It was Sabbath who asked him, "What are you doing?" "Look at you little faith." He didn't know what to do, but he was a veteran. He admitted himself to the local VA hospital as an addict, to be honest, that's what he would have been if he had not done so. This was when he met Ron Tainer. Ron was a slender, short man with a problem with alcohol and crack cocaine as well. His program was for 90 days. Afterward, you were transferred to a halfway house for another 90 days. After the first 60 days of both programs, they were given weekend passes. Daisy learned from her, and the only relative he had was his newborn son, Justin, and the mother of his child, who hadn't allow him visited in except on Christmas and some of them is not even 10. On Saturday morning after breakfast, Ron approached him while Daisy was taking a cigarette break. "Yo, dude, our first 60 days are out of the way. Do you want to come with me to my brother's? We're having a barbecue." Daisy gases lit up. Hell yeah, I'm tired of being around her, especially in the weekend when you don't have to. Well, you're out. Sitting in the bus, Ron was in deep thought and turned to Daisy. You have something to tell you." Ron said as he continued. "I knew you were to come over to my brothers since you don't have a family here in Atlanta, but I've been meaning to tell you something, and you go serious about to find out today. Cass ain't no same in my game." Daisy was on the bus, with a confused look. "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" Spit sets it out. Ron laughed. "My family is not my blood family. They're just friends, I've known for a long time," Daisy said. "For real." "That's what you want to tell 'em, Naya, please. You have friends at home like that, Tatito, Cal family as well. That's not a big deal. You act as if you were from a pack of wolves, and worry about to meet them." A smile quickly became a frown on Ron's face. "What I'm trying to say, dude, I'm gay." Daisy was surprised. "You act like a man, dress like a man, and you don't have a feminine ways, as far as I can tell." Ron had a serious look in his face as he explained. "When he wasn't near me stationed in Germany, he learned how to mask it. Plus motto was don't ask, don't tell. So, they didn't ask, and they didn't tell, but he will go off by seeing party me as stuff in Germany, literally. He was young and promiscuous as hell, and he eventually contracted. Once he discovered he days, he began to do more than alcohol and started in an out-of-control promotion since he felt it had ended me a life sentence. Yeah, only. Live once, so they say. Dicing your head makes it feelings of being confused, mad, and said simultaneously, bitch, you ain't gay. Hold on, you have ace. For real, man. That means, you finady. Ron shook his head. Now, it how it's so tall, at least, not him son. The doctor said, as long as he take my medicine, it'll be just fine until they stop working, that is. But for now, the medicine is keeping the symptoms at bay. Ron desires for a minute, the reason I'm telling you is the place we are going is filled with men and one who are straight, gay, pansexual, one is cool. They won't mess with you, if you told them you are not gay. They are great guys, except for Smithy. He's over the top all the time, both of it helped Tommy brother, I got to work today. And me brother, is the guy who owns the house, he's not me real brother, he's one of me lovers. Dicing aside. Damn. One of them, how many lovers do we have, and do they know about your condition or each other? Yes, Ron lagged, damn right. Both we use production. There was silence but went to for a moment, and when sighed, if he went to go back, that's call, but I thought he went to get away from the place for a while, and he was headed over here, plus this barbecue, it ain't no den orgy, if it were, you would not have even in video. We will have food, music, and alcohol. However, you don't drink, of course, except for me or dolls, but that's non-alcoholic. Dicing you just sat there in the bus, thinking for a moment. Hell, it'll go, 'cause we're almost there, but if one of the motherfucker looks at me sideways, I'm out of there. Take out another bus on the theory of that Western train station. Senator was hardly in Yunnan. This bus ran Fultini took plane himself, when he was young, made about me things, and at the time, he didn't know what he was doing, but after a while, he started mosting most of me friends and myself. He had sent money he saw reduce what word all go to let go. Passing. He continued. Many, if not all, of the public now was gay, some molestious, either someone in the family or close to family. Some may agree or disagree with this statement, but he believe afterward, most but not all, became promiscuous or gay. He blamed myself for letting it happen for a long time, but he let it continue. He will give his money and, hell, anything who wanted. His son enjoyed it and I'm not ashamed of who I am. Dicing he had served in the military and had been around many people who had different cultures. He had learned big experience, teaching people who didn't think correct like him was wrong. He didn't have to argue or disagree with what they thought, all he had to do was be himself. Cultural and religious differences were typical, but for the first time, he faced sexual differences, but he just did the list of differences people had. Ron continued, we have different opinions, even in our, you'll call sexual orientation group. There are three types of gay men. Teens like me, who dress like a man, and act like a man but are gay, and you have teens that dresses like a man but overly shows their gay tendencies, and then some dress like a woman and act like a woman. This last group is teens he can't stand. Dicing you was confused. Why? You can't stand him. Ron sighed, if you're gay, and you don't have to put on us how to prove you're gay. As a matter of fact, there is a great division among us. Jeffrey Dahmer was gay, but because his ass was going around eating motherfuckers, they didn't want him associated with the gay community. I'm starting to hear people talking about binary and non-binary. Where the fuck is that? You're just white, you'll give it 20 years, and they will be going around saying we need to break down pronouns and genders or give us a classification, or both. Dicing it out for a moment, you take the kind of guess that will be damaging to one will be the kind that did so on, then after she falls in love with them and they. So then I told him, hey, I'm gay. It will tear him apart. Rant inside. That's biscool, and bang into do, but it's still gay. Well, you have some friends who do that, but even that is being accepted for a lot of this lonely ass one now, who just want to say they have a man. You will be amazed at all the things that indicator to and homosexual, because, you can say, gender. They have gay bars, sex clubs and more in most of these rich athletes, actors, singers and other host gay finance system. Many come to Atlanta straight, but live gay. Doesn't you suck his head, damn, you had no idea, you sent there's a lot of them around for especially me down in bucket, and some of them, you can't even tell them apart from woman, until you get up close to him, and what the fuck is it all? Ron shook his head, ik knew your ass wasn't gay, when he first saw you. But you were different, you just didn't know what it was. That's why, he called up in it to you until you made problems. But he never told you he was gay. It's not a problem for me, more like a situation. But yeah, your ass is green as fuck. Dull man's down low man. Doesn't you shook his head, it all sounds so confusing to. They continued their conversation about the topic tender right before they knew it. They were at their stop on the corner of Avon Street and Cascade Avenue. On the there, it wasn't like they thought. A variant that came over. Did even appear to be gay at all and dressed neatly, and not on if them seemed to be not gay, but they noted the females with feminine ways and a few females were dressed and that masculine, but it did not bother him. With good music, delicious food, and a few jokes, a very west. Enjoying themselves. Hours later, doesn't get hears a voice, "Ark, you bitches. You should me is salva here, straight from work. Let's party." It was Smithy, and doesn't get did not have to go so he was or being rude. He knew that was him, for he was everything Ron said. He was loud, annoying, and rude. What do I have here? Smithy said as he looked up and down at Dazinga and smiled with his eyes raised. Dazinga smiled and simply said, "Hey, my name is." Smithy said, "Now child, really, what's up with you?" Dazinga was trained not to be rude. "My name is Dazinga, but I'm not gay, I'm a friend of Ron." Smithy said, "You're not gay now, just wait till you get finished with you, you will never want another piece of catfish." Dazinga looked at Ron and muttered, "Catfish." Ron smiled, to put it nicely, "A woman." Dazinga offended, "Well, that's me cue, it's time for me to go." Ron sighed. No, hell no, it's time for Smithy to go." Ron grabbed Smithy by the arm and drifted him to another room. After a few minutes, he returned, and Smithy said to Dazinga, "I'm sorry," and blew him a kiss. Dazinga became outraged and was about to faint. Ron shook his head and asked one of his friends to take him to the nearest train station. Smithy said, "What? What did he do?" Cush interrupted, "Mammalean, can you stop for a minute? I get to visit the bathroom." They turned and went right to him. Pulling over, Mammalean sighed, "It might have been the mail someone left out of this box. You'll finish when you get back." Cush said as he had been some buses, "So far, it didn't sound like a love story, you must hear him, unless Dazinga was gay." Mammalean laughed, "No child, there is more than the love we have for your wife, plus, Ron played a big part in Dazinga's relationship with the crew. They were only friends, and Ron never approached Dazinga in that way. Ron loved Dazinga like a real brother. He was the first straight man who didn't look down on him because he was gay, but if you worry, he'll finish telling you." Cush was silent for a minute, then sighed, "Looks like I'm going to be wild, Mammalean." Mammalean waited for a few minutes and sighed, "Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies." Cush said, "For real, Mammalean. Right now, while I'm missing it." Cush said, "Who is Nelson Mandela?" Cush sighed, "On a mission, your worst enemies at all time." Mammalean replied, "Who is Nipsey Hussle?" Mammalean then asked, "You can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen." It was a few seconds later, Cush replied, "Who is Michelle Obama?" Cush, in turn, sighed, "If I didn't defend myself for myself, you will be crunched into other people's fantasies. For me indeed no love," Mammalean said. "You can't remember that on," Cush said. "Elder Lord, waiter, feminist, womanist, libertarian, and civil rights activist. Och, it's still me turn 10. Start where you're with what you have. Mac. So they know it and never be satisfied." Mammalean sighed, "Och, ik know that on, was George Washington Carver. Sit tight, you prayed for 20 years but received no answer until I prayed with my legs." Walking out of the buses and zipping up his pants, Cush sighed, was Frederick Douglass. He hit out the back of the wagon and washed his hands. "You needed hate," Shaking her head, Mammalean said. I hope you done, you do need to peg a lot of water to wash your doggone hands. Takes water for his horses. Now, come on here, let's go. Mammalean thought for a minute. As you were saying, you know that there's more than one type of love, don't you, sir? Kiss sighed. Ik know of a few. Mammalean shook her head. Well, let me tell you all of them so you won't be confused. Tell you about 8 different types of love a couple can have for one another. There's spelled P, soulless, unconditional love. Eros, spelled Eros, which is passionate, physical, and romantic love. It expresses sexual passion and desire. Philia, spelled Pio. Yeah, it's affectionate love. It is the love you feel for your friends or platonic love without sexual acts. And it enters Pelodia, spelled Pio, Utia, self-love. Most people think self-love is narcissistic, selfish, or stuck in themselves. However, self-love is not unhealthy. It's necessary. To give and receive a love from other people. We cannot give it to others what we don't have. If we don't love ourselves, how can we genuinely love others? Storin, spelled Stor, gay, has similar love. It feels like philia, but this love is more like a parental love or the kid you have for a best friend. Tenteris, pragma, spelled prag, mea, is the love man may husband had. It's enduring love, the opposite of eros. See, eros love burns out quickly because of its passion and intensity. However, pragma is a love that has matured and developed over time. Tell married couples who have been together since their teenage years and still hold hands, this kind of love almost became excessive. This type of love doesn't require a lot of effort in a relationship. Both people are good at making compromises, and each of them puts in equal measures to make the other person happy. Mammalean stared into space for a minute and swept the sinletier from her eye. Oh baby, Mammalean, sorry got to thinking, fatal. Kiss sighed, it suck. Then she continued. Ludus, spelled Lord, yours, which is play love, a feeling of infatuation in the early days of romance. If you have been in love before, you have no what I'm talking about. It's the butterflies in your stomach, the giddiness you feel when you see your love walk around your door, and the feeling of never wanting to be without him. And lastly, it's many love, man, yeah, which is obsessive love, not necessarily a friendly type of love because it is obsessive. This type of love can lead someone into madness, jealousy, or even anger. That's because the balance between eros and ludus is terribly off. Many people who are experiencing this type of love suffer from low self-esteem. They fear losing the object of their love, and this fear compels them to say or do some crazy shit to keep them. If not kept under control, many can be very destructive sometimes. Kissing inside. Mammalean, you will have little love for one another. Mammalean embarrassed, who's your mouth? Me and Val are just friends. Kiss sighed, Mammalean? Yeah, but are old, and he's always calling you ma'am, Mammalean, with a strange look, so? Has the only on you told to quit saying ma'am to don't you think love can be found with him? Kiss was being nice, for he knows she need love just like he knows, but Mammalean just said, you ain't old, you matter, fatal, mature, you remember that. Cush lied, you are old tone, then he smiled and sarcastically sighed, you'll explain that to you later in the bottle. Mammalean, changing the subject. Now, let me finish my story. And nobody got time for you and you will need, Cupidas. Since that her, twirling the horse, let's see, doesn't ya? Had never gotten close to any and Ted was gay before, and if no one was gay, he probably would have gotten to know him, but once he found out, they had already become friends. Anyways, doesn't ya and one's last days at TV came and went, and they kept in contact occasionally. He was about 27 years old during this time, when if necessity state the van was sent to a halfway house, because he had nowhere to go and Ron went to stay with his brother. Saying he had nowhere to go, he had to complete another 90 days at their halfway house. As a requirement to stay there, he had to attend their meetings and find a job after the first 30 days, but he found on in 2 weeks as a security guard at Southwest Hospital, working from 11 at night till 7 in the morning. A few months later, he moved into a regular rooming house, more like a bed and breakfast building, and was content with his living arrangement. Mammalean. Why it's a hospital? meetings, and via. Mammalian lavides stopped and declined the reading he didn't understand. On he understood, she quickly began her story again. Now, where did he stop? Cush smelled him over to the halfway house and got a work permit at the hospital in the southwest. Mammalian smelled Southwest Hospital was the name of the hospital. On a night while at work, he saw a beautiful woman he had never seen before. She was a slender one who walked with grace, poise, and eloquence. One of the most beautiful things he had ever seen in his life was walking towards him in Halley as he was making his rounds in the hospital. He wanted to stop and talk to her, but he only nodded his head. Hello. She smiled. Hey, as she passed him, he turned around to look at her. But to his surprise, she turned around to look back at him, and they smiled back at each other with embarrassment. They were both embarrassed, because they did not expect to see each other looking back at one another. Dazinga felt she was out of his league and would not want someone of his stature, but little did he know she was just as interested in him as he was in her. Have heard the doctors, nurses, and just about everyone were trained to talk to her. She was friendly and always spoke when she was spoken to, but Dazinga felt she would be more interested in them than him because they made more money than him. Now Dazinga will take his story to work with him and read it whenever there was an opportunity to do so. By working till late at night, the opportunity came more than he thought. A week or so passed, and he had made his round and decided to read his story in the morning room because it was quiet and there were no patents. She was an integrity in seer, and she saw him reading the Torah. You see, you read the Torah. A lot. Are you a Christian? Her voice was like a breath of fresh air, soft and refreshing, with a bit of an accent he could not predetermine. He smiled, yes and no. She looked at him. Here, what does that mean, yes and no? That's confusing. He smiled back at her. Well, do we believe in trust? That's what they call it a back then. Cush had gotten lost in his story and politely sighed. Yes and no. Mammalian continued. He sighed. Well, do we believe in trust? Yes. But no, you do not hold on to the traditions of men and let them dictate to me how to serve me God. They said isn't it no. That his answers, she smiled, you liked it. Dazinga was curious. You're an accent I'm not familiar with because I have friends from Jamaica and Trinidad. It sounds similar, but it's different. Where are you from? She smiled, and what a beautiful smile it was, as she blessed. I'm from Thomas, Theus Varinus lands, but my family comes from Tordola, the bread is Varinus lands. Sitting in the last row in the back of the he made his way up to the front and sat down in front of her desk. What do you know about the Torah? He asked. You don't know much, but I've always been curious to learn. He was excited and told her about the Torah, and by the end of the night, he had summarized the entire book. That what he knew, she became very interested in him. Dazinga found himself carried up telling his story and was about to ask her something but thought about it. I'm so sorry, raising up his hand. My name is Ajin, but my friends call me Dazinga. She replied as he stretched out her hand. It always, how you say it, carried up, enjoying you tell your story. Where are my matters? My name is Decor. You also have a little bit of an accent. It sounds like Atlanta, but it's different. He smiled. I'm from Louisiana. Our culture is very similar because of the slave trade. She raised her eyebrows. You know about it as well. Not many people in Atlanta care about stuff like that. When they touched each other's hands, it felt like electricity went round Dazinga's body. They talked and joked all night before they knew it. Their shift was over. For weeks, they spoke to each other at work and quickly fell for each other. Mammalian paused for a moment. You have no hate. Well, I'm thinking about it. His tone in his poetry turned around during this time period. Mammalian paused again. You recall some of his previous work before he met her because of their timestamps. They were good, don't get me wrong, but they became exceptionally profound. There were poems like all the qualities in it clearing her throat. She quoted the poem. Speak your mind, that's all I ask, not trying to hear anything that's fake. So, stop with the mask. Time, there might be problems, you're only need, no is trying to learn in else, all over again. You're my woman, I'm your man. We've talked and talked. You understand my meanings, you understand yours. There's nothing else to it, communication is the key. Just consider a season between you and me. You have all the qualities you need. Mammalian side, Tatango. Just for you. You know the date and time, the day and the year, better than you do. When I first started this conversation with you, you happy by now, you know it's true. You care about you. Now, you know how I feel. Let me tell you the feeling is real. Many times, it had good sent me made to it. But that myth had been spoiled, or left out too long. Or even freezer burn. Then one day, he got a message from an high. Tone, it was a great surprise. Feeling you, made my whole world turned. Longing for someone to see, someone to comfort me. What this really is, was love for me. You hope if the feeling was true, too, for you. We talked, let everything out. Didn't hold back. Yes, we both told the truth. That's how we met. You weren't meant falling in love with you. You were caring, caring, loving and with. This is not lie. Don't stop what you do. Because you are who you are, and because of that, you want this. Because I want you to know that this is not Tatango. Mammalian side, having sex is making love, cause bliss as they continued. What is the difference with making love and having sex? With sex, there is no emotional involvement. With love, there is. Sex can be performed with anyone. With love, that person has to be something special. Someone special. Sex can be purely lust, making love involves love. Today many don't believe in love. One calls being love, and the other in lust. Love, the word itself. The word has many meanings, defined by very indifferently. Either way, it seems with love's definition. None of them are explicit today. Sex is another word, many treat it interchangeably with love. Sex can be pivot love. Even sex and love to many is the same. That's insane. There is a difference. I'm here today to make this claim. Hope you see. So, when you meet someone for the first time, do you want to go to bed with them? Because of lust or love? Let me explain. For me, if you met someone in the street, and is turning because she has a big butt, big breast, big, beautiful lips, neck hips. If you see that personally for that, it's lust. You want sex. But if that same person in which you met interests me, you talk to her, enjoy talking to her, being around her, saying more than just the body, eventually. That can be love. Two in love can have sex, but two in lust can't make love. These are my differences between making love and having sex.